আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আজকে আমরা টেকফোরামের পক্ষ থেকে আ রেগুলার যে আমাদের যে অনলাইন ট্রেনিং সেশন চলছে, ট্রেনিং সেশনগুলো মোটামুটি মাইক্রোসফট ডেটা প্ল্যাটফর্মের উপরে আমরা লাস্ট 3 মান্থস থেকে এই ট্রেনিং সেশনটা মান্থলি প্রত্যেক মাসে একবার করে এরেঞ্জ করতেছি আরকি। তো আমাদের সাথে আ যারা আছেন তারা হচ্ছে যে তাহমিদুল আবেদিন এবং আজকে আছে তিমান্তা। উনি কানাডা থেকে আমাদের সাথে জয়েন করবে। উনার সেশনটা হবে হতেছে পাওয়ার বিআই এর উপরে এবং পাওয়ার বিআই উনি ড্যাশবোর্ডটা নিয়ে আজকে হ্যান্ডস অন ট্রেনিং দেখাবেন। আর তারপরে আমাদের যে সেশনটা হবে সে সেশনটা হচ্ছে মোহাম্মদ আসিফ ওয়াকার। উনি সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে জয়েন করবে আমাদের সাথে। তো উনার সেশনটা হবে হতেছে মেশিন লার্নিং এর উপরে। তো আমাদের ১ম এ যে সেশনটা হবে সে সেশনটা হচ্ছে যে লাইট টক সেশন। এই সেশনটা আসলে লাইট টক সেশনটা আমরা এরেঞ্জ করেছি এরকম যে রেগুলার যে নতুন টেকনোলজি আপডেট হচ্ছে সেই আপডেটটার সাথে আমাদের কমিউনিটিকে সিঙ্ক করা এবং সবাইকে জিনিসগুলো জানানো এবং ওইটার উপর একটা ব্রিফ ডিসকাশন করা। সেকেন্ড থিং হচ্ছে যে ট্রেনিং ইভেন্টটা সেটা শুরু হবে 4:30 থেকে। তো ট্রেনিং ইভেন্টে আসলে আ আমরা যে জিনিসটা করি যে একটা হ্যান্ডস অন ট্রেনিং আ থিওরিটিক্যাল এবং হ্যান্ডস অন ২ টাই করা হয়। তো আজকে ড্যাশবোর্ডিং এর উপরে ট্রেনিং হবে পাওয়ার বিআই ড্যাশবোর্ড ডিজাইনে। আগের যে ইভেন্ট গুলা হয়েছে সেই ইভেন্ট গুলো আমাদের YouTube চ্যানেল আছে। আপনারা ওইখানে গেলে যারা প্রেজেন্ট ছিলেন না YouTube চ্যানেলে গেলে আপনারা ওই আগের ট্রেনিং সেশন গুলো পাবেন। আর মেশিন লার্নিং এর উপরে যে ট্রেনিং সেশনটা হচ্ছে সেটা আজকে হচ্ছে 3rd সেশন হবে। তো সেই সেশনটা হচ্ছে আসিফ ওয়াকার নিবেন। উনি সিঙ্গাপুরে আম থেকে আমাদের সাথে জয়েন করতেছেন এবং উনার এইখানে যারা স্পিকার হিসেবে বা ট্রেনার বা ফ্যাসিলিটেটর যাই বলি, আ হিসেবে যারা জয়েন করেছে তারা আসলে প্র্যাকটিক্যালি প্র্যাকটিশনার এবং তারা এই কাজগুলো করছে এবং আমাদের সাথে সেই জিনিসগুলো শেয়ার করবে। তো আমাদের এই টেকফোরামের পক্ষ থেকে আমরা এখন যে ৪ টা সেশন করে হচ্ছে প্রত্যেকটা আ টপিকের উপরে পাওয়ার বিআই, মেশিন লার্নিং এবং পাওয়ার প্ল্যাটফর্মের উপরে। তো আমাদের এই সেশনগুলা হতেছে যে আসলে আমরা চাচ্ছি যে অ্যা ডাটা প্ল্যাটফর্মের উপরে কারণ আপনারা জানেন যে আমাদের যে আ সফটওয়্যার ডেভেলপমেন্টের যে স্টেপে আমরা আছি যে অলমোস্ট যে অর্গানাইজেশন গুলো আছে সেই অর্গানাইজেশন গুলো মূলত অটোমেশন হয়ে গেছে। এখন আমাদের যে জিনিসটা দরকার সেটা হচ্ছে যে আ টু ফিগার আউট দ্যা ইনসাইট অফ দ্যা অর্গানাইজেশন। আমাদেরকে ডাটাবেস ডিসিশন মেক করার জন্য আমাদের যে টুলস এবং টেকনোলজি গুলো দরকার সেই টুলস এবং টেকনোলজি গুলার উপরেই আসলে আমরা এখন সেশন গুলা নিচ্ছি। তো আমরা এর আগেও একটা ব্রিফ সেশন হয়েছিল ডেটা ওয়্যারহাউস নিয়ে। তো আমাদের নেক্সট স্টেপে যে জিনিসটা হবে যে ডেটা ওয়্যারহাউস এবং Azure ডেটা ওয়্যারহাউস, Azure Synapse Analytics এগুলোর উপর আমরা সেশন করব। যেই ডে তারপর আজকে আমরা ১ম এ যে সেশনটা করতে যাচ্ছি সেটা হচ্ছে পাওয়ার প্ল্যাটফর্ম এর উপরে। পাওয়ার প্ল্যাটফর্ম এ আমাদের সাথে আছেন তাহমিদুল আবেদিন। উনি প্র্যাকটিশনার হিসেবে কাজ করতেছেন। তো আমি ইনভাইট করব তাহমিদুল আবেদিনকে জয়েন করার জন্য। তার আগে একটা জিনিস বলি যে আপনাদের যদি কোনো ফিডব্যাক বা কোনো আম কোয়েশ্চেন থাকে বা আপনারা এখানে মিটিং চ্যাটের অপশন আছে। এখানে আপনারা আম আপনাদের এটা টাইপ করতে পারেন। অথবা আপনারা যদি কোনো কিছু আপনাদের ফিডব্যাক থেকে থাকে সেগুলো এখানে টাইপ করবেন। স্পিকার তার সময় মানে কমফোর্টেবল টাইমে আপনাদেরকে অ্যান্সার করবে। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ ফর জয়েনিং দ্য সেশন। Hopefully it will be helpful for your career. Also, it will be helpful for your organization to build data-based solution. Thank you very much. I'm going to invite Mr. Tahmidul Abedin, please.
Thank you, Hassan
Carry.
bhai. First of all, thanks to the Techformbd and Hassan bhai to make it possible to happen these sessions regularly. So I think this is very much appreciative, and it will be very much helpful for the people who are newly introducing with this data platform and do this type of applications. So basically today's all the sessions are based on data platforms or data based applications, and most of those are used in the corporate culture. So today I am going to talk about the Microsoft Powerapps. So I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully can see my screen. Hassan bhai, স্ক্রিন কি দেখতে পাচ্ছেন? হ্যালো।
Yes, bhai. Your screen is visible.
হ্যাঁ, আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি।
Okay, thank you. So welcome to the today's session, which is on Microsoft Power Apps. We are today discussing with about the build your application with Power App. So today we are going to go through the basic on the Microsoft Power Apps. I am MD Tahmidul Abidin. I am a software engineer in Genweb 2, and I'm also a SharePoint consultant. Currently, I am being awarded as an C# Corner MVP. I have completed the Microsoft certification on solution development and currently working with ASP.NET Office 365 solutions and Azure solution development. So all my articles and other documentations which have been created has been stored in this single location, my website. You can go there and check all those things and ask any questions if you want. So let's start with the Microsoft Power Platform. So Microsoft thought like previously they want to come in this business. So with this Power Platform, so Microsoft Power Apps is an important member of this Power Platform. So there are other two members which are Power BI and Power Automate, previously known as, yes.
আসন ভাই, এই সেশনটা কি রেকর্ড করা করলে ভালো হয় না? মানে রেকর্ড করা থাকলে পরবর্তীতে আমরা অনেকে দেখে নিতে পারতাম বা
এটা মনে হয় রেকর্ড করা হচ্ছে ভাইয়া।
হ্যাঁ, অলরেডি এটা রেকর্ডিং হচ্ছে।
ওকে, ঠিক আছে। সরি ভাই, আমি মানে
No,
বুঝতে পারিনি। ওকে,
sure, thank you. So all these three components are based on Azure. All this functionality they are providing us, they in the baseline, the core technology is Azure. They are using Azure to provide us this technology as a SaaS model. Okay, instead of buying the Azure functionality and developing the features and using them, instead of that, Microsoft is providing this Power Apps, Power BI, and Power Automate, which is based on Azure. So all the functionalities and features will we get that will be smooth as Azure we get and real. So in these three elements is connected internally with the common data service for apps and data connectors. Also we can these applications can be used as a standalone applications. Also we can embedded them with Dynamics 365 and Office 365. Okay, so as we are talking today with the Power Apps, so what is Power Apps, right? So in basic, we can say that Power Apps is a service where anyone can develop a business application as they want. So Microsoft has given the definition by book like is a Power Apps is a service for build and using custom business apps that connect to the data and work across to the web and mobile without the time and expense of the custom software development. So basically Power Apps the Microsoft has targeted the uh, business users or end users to use this application so that they don't need to write code or anything else, just drag and drop something like that. Also they have included some features which an IT admin can enrich that application, and behind that there are some opportunities where an experienced developer can use that and make this application more usable and more robust. So what is the features in Power Apps? So this is a cross-platform application. We can use it anywhere we want, like in web, iOS, Android, anywhere. There are some things that we need to run this application, but we don't need to develop different types of application like what we previously needed. Like for web, we have website. For iOS and Android, different applications we are going to build, but that is not needed here. Okay, one application we will build and all the platform will support that. So the authoring is very much easy in Power Apps. So you can introduce any other data connectivity APIs. Already most of them are provided. Like you just need to click them, provide your URL of the data connection and authorization, and that will be connected easily. If that is on your own domain, you don't need to provide the authorization also. You just select that thing, and that will be connected. So that's a very much easier thing. And also there are some like validation. You want to try to validate a field. Here is a field, so you want to validate the date field. So instead of writing code or knowing the JavaScript or other things, you can just like write down the formula. Here we have a formula panel like Excel, where we write formulas in Excel. That type of way we can write this formula. Okay, so that's way this is very much easy for an end user or a business developer who knows the domain but doesn't knows the development that much. So that is easier for them. So next thing Microsoft providing is this enterprise grade management and control. So in Power Platform, if you buy a license, you got something like a Power App, Power Automate, and other things. So you can integrate them in a single platform with each another. Okay. Also, you can connect them with your other Office 365 applications, all the Microsoft provided or built applications, and you can connect both on-premise and online application here. Other than Microsoft, like there is a provided connectivity for our Dropbox, also Twitter and other things. You can do that just calling a function that has been already provided. Okay. So all the also for Power Apps, like in other application, we have to authorize the application to the users, like with AD or maybe form authentication like that. We have to manage that authentication system to authenticate the user to come in this application. But here, when we are using Power Apps, we are authenticating the user with the Azure Active Directory. So that authentication hassle we don't need to take on our mind. Okay. And we can also use the other functionality Microsoft already providing, like multi-factor authentication. Okay. Two-factor authentication is already provided by Microsoft. In the ADU, if we make it sure to on, so we don't need to go through all this hassle, write the code to make that. Okay. So that's the beauty of this Power Apps. Like you don't need all those hassles. Those need to be done for a custom development. Okay. So what is the application type here? So there are different types of applications we can develop here and embedded in different application with Power Apps. In generic, we can divide them in two ways. Let's say a standalone Canvas app. They are saying this Canvas app. This is one type of application. You have to start this application from the scratch. You will design your graphics, your controls, all those already those are provided. You have to drop down and provide the size or colors or something like that. But you can start that from the scratch. Okay. So that we are saying that standalone Canvas application. In this standalone Canvas application, you can integrate any APIs you want, but they are already providing that Power Automate, which has already 3,100 plus connectivity with different applications. So if you connect your Power Automate with your Canvas app, then connecting other applications will be very much easier. Also, Power Automate is a very helpful and strong tool for creating business workflows. So whenever we are thinking about we are creating the app with Canvas app like a form. Okay, let's say a leave application. So whenever the application has been submitted, we need to go through some approval. So with this Power Automate support, we can do that easily. That has been already provided. So also this Canvas app can be embedded with Office 365 like SharePoint form, or you can say like Teams form. There we can do those development with this type of Canvas app. In the other hand, we have customized Dynamics 365 applications. So for specifically Dynamics 365, they have provided different type of pre-designed designer to design the form, design the entity, design the view, and other things. So for specifically Dynamics 365, we have enriched way to create our required forms or views or dashboard, whatever we need with that. And there are some specific template that can be customized, but given template, which is easier for a business user to create. For Canvas app, you have to go through some part by part or step by step development procedure, not that writing code, but you have to go through some procedure. So these are the difference between those two. Okay. So let's say what are the specific difference in the Canvas app. Okay. So Canvas Powerapps, we have already saying that Canvas app, and that's basically divided regarding how we can build or develop this application with Power App. So we can go with the Canvas apps and go with model driven apps. So Canvas apps, as we already said, we have to start with from the scratch and design the UI and all those things. So in this way, we can design it as we like. For model driven apps, if you know about like SharePoint, okay, if anyone have the knowledge of SharePoint, there is a SharePoint list. With the all SharePoint list, they have provided some default form to enter the data. Okay, so but you want some different things, different logics, the validation, something like that. So you can Power Apps can be helpful. So there you don't need to go to the Canvas app. You can go that's an option, but you don't need that. You just there is an option can customize your app with Power App. So you just need to click that, and with that model driven apps procedure, your application Power App will provide you an already default build application. Like you have and form with 8 fields. So different types of fields. One is drop down, one is a date field, one is a string and other things. So when we are creating this way, so it will create a default form with a specific design to us, so we can change them as we need. Even we need to create a dashboard with those datas, like we have a list of datas, we can also model driven approach, we can do that. In this way, that would be easier to develop the application. Okay, so if we go through the in deep with Canvas app, Canvas app helps business power users to create and use custom business apps like cross-platform for anywhere, and also the usability or the um, usability here is we can we are saying like the different type application we can run in our web, mobile and other things. So with this Canvas app, that can be possible. Okay, if we take this little burden like to design this application by ourselves, like dropping down and designing the size and other things, that can make we can use that in all our mobiles and web application. So here in Canvas app, we can connect this data with our system. Also, there is a thing like you want to create an business application for your office, like you don't have an data connectivity, okay, server. You don't need that. You just want to save that in Excel. So with this Canvas app, you can create a Canvas app, and in backend, you can save those data in your Excel. That's an huge feature, I think, for minimizing the cost for a small type application. So also here we can use different types of forms and workflows without writing any code. Okay, so this type of features provided by Canvas app. So a Canvas app has this is a look alike what the Canvas app looks. So as for the time shortage, I'm not going to a demo, so I have taken some screenshot and showing it here. Okay. So if you can see in the left side, there are some components name. These are table, graph, button. So we are providing these buttons that is there, and we can select specific components and change that as required. that is very much easier. We don't need to go where is this and selecting that. We have the component list in the outside. Okay. So what is Canvas app providing? That craft from and screens, different types of screens, like we have an application, new form, edit form, and view form, right? 3 types of form we need in generic. So that can be done in Canvas app. And taking advantage, like we can, if we like taking the snapshot from the camera and use that in our input in our Power App, that can also be possible. Okay, that's a great feature. Also, we can do our business logic with this. Let's say you want to validate a different data source from your Power Apps and return that result in that form in the minimum time. So what you can do, you can also add an API, but instead of API, you can only call your Power Automate, where it is already provided all the APIs. So that will be triggered in a button click, and that will give you in a milliseconds the results in Power Apps screen. So that's a huge feature, I think. So next is the model-driven apps. So model-driven apps is nothing else, as we are saying that we can select a data source as the embedded app, like Teams or SharePoint or Dynamics. So we select the data source and create the form or view or dashboard with the provided template. And for a simpler requirement, that is very easier. You just need to see your data which are there, okay, in a specific template. So you select your data, you select this template and press create button. Power App will select the data with the template. They will provide you that dashboard in a couple of minutes. So that's a huge support from Power Apps we are getting with this model-driven approach. Okay. So what are the difference, this model difference and Canvas app we are having? Okay. User experience, this is model-driven is negative because that is basically provided by the Power App itself. But in Canvas app, we are doing that on our own. So that's a plus. Business solution, this we can use this Canvas in a simply, we can use our business solution simple way. But if we want to edit the provided model driven application, that would be complex, because as we are seeing that model driven approach, Powerapps is creating that application and providing us. So editing that is a hassle, but not that much. So next one is app feature set. So app feature set for model driven is plus, but Canvas is a negative. Data validation is both way we can do that. Data source, here is a negative, like we are already selecting the specific data source before creating an app, right? So adding a different data source, we have to go through this complexity to business situation managing that. But Canvas app, we are adding one by one thing. So we can adding this data source easily and manage them that much. So else we can extensibility is very much available. So configuration, that is a negative, which is Microsoft is saying, but in my eyes that is easier, because you are not writing any code, like you are dropping selecting an item and drag and drop. So that is very much easier, I think. Okay. So other than that, Power Apps, what I can say, like for my experience, when you are creating a live application with a limited type of requirement, so there you can use Power Apps and Power Automate easily. These type of applications also, let's say you have a company, trading company. So in a new requirement, you need to contact with a new company where you have some trading is going on. So you need a form and an approval. You will input the thing, and in a different location of your application, let's say you are working in Dhaka and the boss is sitting in Chittagong. So instead of writing the form, scanning that, sending it to your boss, and getting the approval by mail. That's a long, hectic work. So with this Powerapps, you don't need a developer. With your license with Powerapps, you can create that Powerapp form very easily with a limited component. And on the back end, you can add your Power Automate, which will send an email with an built-in feature for approving to your boss who is sitting in Chittagong, and he can approve that and send it to you back. So you will have an approved copy in a couple of minutes. So this type of application, we can use Powerapps very much easier. Thank you for attending today. That is much for today. For the next session, I will go through and demo. So hopefully that will be helpful. Thank you, Hassan bhai. Hello.
Why you are on mute? It seems.
Thank you very much, Thimantha. I want to ask the audience, if you have any question, you can ask the speaker. Do you have any? If you don't have any, then we will go to next session.
Thanks, Sanvi. I have one question here. Like, suppose for a beginner, like I am new to the Powerapps. So if you want to start with Powerapps, means like suppose if I want to build a module, like an app which having like 4 to 5 modules. So which one I should go for? I should go for the Canvas app or model-driven app. It's like what will be the requirement?
Canvas app will be Canvas app would be good, because for model-driven app, changing those backend facility is a little tricky, but Canvas app will be good for that.
Yeah, but when I was going through the Canvas app, I find out it one more difficulty is like it needs one data layer, it's like a Dataverse for connecting to, and it's a very costly compared to other resources. Like suppose we have SQL Server, or so. Is there anything it's like we can connect to, you know?
Yeah. So let's say you are using that application for your own, okay, for your in a computer. So with Powerapps, you can store your data in Excel. So if you can store that anywhere, that will be also possible, instead of saving your data in other APIs, or you're saying like that costly, what is that, that Dataverse. Yeah, that Dataverse is a very much costly, because that is connecting all the Power Platform. But
Yep.
If you take the license like Office 365 or Dynamics 365, that is coming with that. So for those type of users who have already that type of license, they can get it very much easily.
Okay, so you mean to say that I can have a data in Dynamics or SharePoint, and I can make the forms using Canvas app in Powerapps?
Sure. For like currently when we are using let's say Dynamics 365, Powerapps is the only way to customize your form.
Okay.
Microsoft is currently there are other features they have, but they are reducing them. Also for Microsoft is providing Office 365 SharePoint for online, SharePoint Online. They have already custom application can be used, like SPFX. They have provided SharePoint framework. We have to develop the application with JavaScript and other things. But previously we can change our SharePoint form with Designer. So for Microsoft, currently they have not updating that SharePoint Designer. Also the info path, that is not available right now. And I think maybe 2022, Designer will not be available. So only Powerapps will be there to customize your app without going to any code.
Okay, thanks, bhai. Wait, one more thing, means like for licensing point of view, is there any good resources or something, means for the Power Apps, because I find it's very difficult in terms of, like, suppose I have to just build one app. I want to find out the initial cost of the app. So it's like, is there any good resources or anything?
For licensing, I'll share in the group article where that is described in details. But that is true that for Microsoft, if you are using only Power Apps without license like Office 365 or Dynamics 365, it will get costly. That is true.
Okay.
So when you are using Office 365 license or seats in Dynamics 365, it is coming something like per user, it is coming with that for some features. And there have some premium features. If you want that, you have to pay. Other than the specific features, it will come with that those seats we are taking from Microsoft.
Okay, thanks, bye. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks, Amit.
Thank you. Bhai.
Thank you very much for the session. It was very interesting, and we learned many more things from you. Our next session is on the Power BI. We are going to Thimantha is there. Hello, Thimantha.
Hello, Azan. How are you doing?
I am fine.
Right.
Our next session is on Power BI, and it will be taken by Thimantha. He's from Canada, and I hope it is night there.
It's actually 5:40 a.m. So it's fine.
It's good morning. Actually.
So last
We are
week
very much grateful that you have done us very much sacrifice for us.
No problem with that. No problem. Always happy to contribute to the community.
You didn't properly sleep.
Yes, but always happy to contribute to the community. I mean, yeah, we have been conducting like 3 training sessions so far. So today is the 4th. So really happy. I hope that the guys get something out of these sessions. So yeah, really happy to contribute.
Your last session was very much interesting, and many more feedback had come to us. And I think that today's session will be more interesting. Thank you very much, Thimantha. Please carry on.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Azan, once again for having me. Yeah, as I told, this will be the 4th session today. So yeah, so I think let's get started, right, Azan? So is there anything you want to say, or can I get started?
No.
Right.
Please start your session.
Awesome. So let's get started, and I would share my screen right now. Right. So welcome to the 4th session of this introductory training sessions in Power BI. So last week we were focused on data visualizations in reports. Today we'll be looking at data visualizations in reports with some advanced features that would take your reports to the next level. So that's what we'll be focusing on today. So today it will be entirely based on a demo based content. So you guys will be able to see how can you upgrade your existing reports to the next level with some really simple features that simple and advanced features that really make your reports compelling. So that's what we'll be focusing on today. So for those guys who don't know me, I'm Thimantha Vidanagamage. I love working with Microsoft Data Platform technologies such as Microsoft Power BI, Azure Analytics Services, and Azure Data Factory. The most important thing out of all the details that you see in the screen right now is my Twitter handle at ThimanthaV. So please follow me on Twitter at ThimanthaV. So just going through a recap of what we have been going through in the past sessions. So we had the first training sessions, which was entirely about how to build a very basic data model with respect to a data source. And now the second session, we went to the next level in terms of data model development with data flows for data preparation and the data model itself. Then for the third session, we focused entirely on data visualizations and reports. So today, which will be the fourth session, will be focusing on the some advanced features in terms of how you can take your data visualizations in reports or basically your Power BI reports to the next level. So that's what we'll be focusing on today. And the next session would be about data visualizations in dashboards as well as workspace management, which will be the final session that we'll be conducting in this series of BI sessions. So stay tuned to that. Moving into the agenda for today. Firstly, we will be going through a very brief recap in terms of what we did last week. I'm sorry, in the previous session, because that would be really essential for this session as well. So we'll be going through that. And afterwards, we'll be looking at the advanced features that can take your Power BI reports to the next level. Right. So starting up, just going through for a previous session recap, I guess I would share the report that we have been working on. So if you were active in the previous session, you might have seen, if you are available in the, if you went through the previous session, you might have seen that I developed a very basic report as you see in the screen right now. It's exactly the same. So if you had developed your report to that level, uh, which was there in the previous report, you can simply go through what I'm doing right now very easily without any problem. So yeah, so how we came into this stage is firstly we created a very brief design um, uh, 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 from a tool that allows you to create diagrams. I use Draw.io. At that stage, you guys can use anything and say, oh, even a piece of paper uh, and a pencil, and just plot a design in terms of how you want the report to be. So we did that in the first stage, and after that we developed this report uh, into a stage that you can see in the screen right now. So what we'll be doing right now is taking this report to the next level. And I think I might have explained this in the previous session also, but if I didn't, so just a brief about the brief about the environments that we'll be working around in the Power BI desktop. So what you see in your right hand side, it's the fields pane where you can see the tables and the measure table and so on. That's called the fields pane. And then you can see the visualizations in the visualizations pane. And if you click on the arrow that you see on top of filters, you will be able to see the filters pane. So in the filters pane, you can uh, set filters to your report in the visualization level, in the page level, or in all the pages as per your preference. And what you are working on here and where you are building the report is called the report canvas. And I think even in data modeling, I had explained you guys about the modeling view and all that, modeling view, the diagram view, and everything. So I hope you guys have modeling view and yeah, the tabular view in that session. So I hope you guys are well aware of that. And you can see the report pages right under your report. And also on the top, as with most of the tools and technologies in Power BI, you can see a ribbon. So in Microsoft, you can see a ribbon that shows you all the features in various categories. So that's just a brief about that. If I forgot to, if I wasn't able to explain you guys in the last session, so that was just a brief about the environments that will be playing around with. So that's just a brief about that. And also something to highlight is that we had used, sorry about that, we had used, I'm sorry, uh, we had used the drill down functionality in this report, but I did not highlight that to you guys because I didn't want to overwhelm you guys in the previous session. How basically we have a hierarchy here, right? So if you in the our line visual, right? So if you go to the calendar, uh, if you go to the calendar dimension that we had created, you can see that there is a hierarchy. The hierarchy is a date hierarchy, and it's basically year, quarter, month, and day. So that's basically the hierarchy. So anywhere you involve or anywhere you refer to a hierarchy in into a specific refer hierarchy into a specific visual, you would create a drill down or drill up, but you will create a visualization with the functionalities to drill down and drill up as per your preference. So let's just have a look at that to start up with in terms of how you drill down and drill through, drill down and drill up. Uh, uh, with the functionalities that are available in Power BI. So how do you basically enable? So there are drill down features are available in the arrows that you see facing downwards that you see when you click on every visual, right? Not on every visual, on a visual where you would refer to with the hierarchy, right? So in this case, we have the hierarchy, the date hierarchy. We have year, quarter, month, and day. And referring to this line chart, so we can see these arrows on top, which are basically the drill down functionalities. And but if you go to some other visual that we created previously, like the bar chart, which we created previously, which is the sales breakdown by product, you wouldn't see those arrows, right? Because there is no drill down and there is no hierarchy involved in that. But in the line chart, we have a hierarchy, so we can do see those arrows facing downwards. So just to brief you of what these arrows are all about. So the first arrow, which is a single arrow facing downwards, which is all about drilling down to one specific field or one specific item that is in a visual. For example, if you just want to filter out 2013 in this visual, uh, what you want to do is just click on that down arrow and it would highlight, and just click on 2013 like this, and it would take you to the next level of the hierarchy, right? That's what the entire down arrow is all about. And the next thing I want to show you is this double arrows facing downwards, right? So that's about moving into a different level or a different hierarchy, different level in the hierarchy. So just imagine, so this is basically a year level analysis that you see in the screen right now in the line chart. So if you want to go to a quarter level analysis, all you want to do is just click on this arrows facing downwards, and you would be able to see the quarter level analysis, which is according to the hierarchy, which is a whole new level in our hierarchy. So you can go to that with the two arrows that are facing downwards. And once again, if you want to drill up to the previous stage that it was in, you can just click on this arrow facing upwards. So just click on that and you would be able to get back into the previous stage. And also, if you want to go into, if you want to see two different hierarchies, yeah, basically, if you want to see, if you want to kind of merge, or if you want to see an analysis of two hierarchies in the same visual, what you want to use is this two arrows facing downwards, but it's connected to a uh, uh, single line. I'm not really sure how to put that into words, but basically you need to click on that option, which is expand all down one level in the hierarchy. And you would be able to see two levels of hierarchy in a single visual. So how you do that is simply just click on it, and you should be able to see two levels now, right? So you can see the month, and you can see the year as well. So that's basically two levels in the hierarchy combined, where you can see year and you can see month, right? So those are two different levels in the hierarchy. Those two levels are in a single uh, visual, as you can see. Once again, if you want to get back, just click on this drill up option, or the arrow facing upwards, and you would be able to drill up. And another feature I would like to highlight with the drill down feature is the apply drill is by heading into format in the top panel, in the top bar, you would head into format, and in format under interactions, you would see an option called apply drill down filters to entire page. So what does that mean? That means that, for example, uh, if you use if you drill down into a single item, the entire report, or the entire, the entire report page will be affected by that. So let's see how that works out. So I want to just drill down into the 2013 data, 2013 level. So how, which is a single field, or the a single item. So how I do that is I click on the drill down option, a single drill down option to a single item, and I will click on 2013. See that when you click on 2013, you can see differences in my top visuals, right? I would get back and show that to you once again. So I had selected drill down from single item, and when I just click on the 2013, you can see that there are changes in the top visualizations as well. So that's what this is all about, with apply drill down filters to the entire page. And you can apply drill down filters to selected visual, which will not be affecting these pages, which will be which will not affect the other visualizations in this page. So let's have a look at how that works out as well. So just click on selected visual, and so the drill down mode is on, and if you click on that, you can see that there are no changes to the visualizations on top of the line chart, right? So I don't want that. I want changes in my as the end user filters down into one single drills down into one single item. So that's what it's all about in terms of drill down. So this we didn't have to do anything new for this. This already existed from our previous development. It just came into us automatically with the hierarchy that we had used in date. So it's not something that we created specifically for this purpose, and we didn't do any work in addition to get it to work. So that's just something I just wanted to show you guys on. So that was that. So that was just a recap from our previous session, and that would take us to our second demo, which is the visual interactions. So visual interactions is about how one particular visual affects another visual. So one particular visual can affect another visual, can affect or not affect another visual, or can affect another visual as a cross filter option or a cross highlight option as well. So if you guys don't get what that all means, that's completely fine. I'll be showing you guys what that is all about. So let's head right back into our report and see how that works out. So right. So just to start up with, I don't really, so customer is my customer name, I guess. So let me just have a look at that. I don't specifically like this customer first name in the bar chart, so I would replace that with the customer and should show the customer's first name and the last name. So I would keep that so it looks a bit better. So that's just a small change I did from the previous development that we had done. So that is completed. And what you want to do is you would see to see this. Let's first look at a very simple effect of the visual of visual interactions, right? So how you do that is just click on this a visual. I'm sorry, let's click on a bar in this sales breakdown by customer, which would be one single customer, right? So I just want to click on this first customer, which is Roger Harui, I guess. I'm not really sure about that. Yeah, I would just click on that. And you can see that the rest of the visuals in the page changed, right? You can see that there are clear differences when I click on Roger, right? You can see that there are changes. You can see that a specific area in the sales breakdown by product was highlighted. And there is kind of an acceptable change in the line chart as well. So what this shows in this particular page is sales that Roger had contributed to in terms of products. For example, the products that Roger had bought are highlighted in this visual, right? And with the quantity itself, it's highlighted in detail. And the years that Roger had bought those products are also highlighted with the line chart that you see in the bottom of your screen, in the bottom of the report. So that's basically visual interactions. So basically, one visual or an interaction that you are attending or an action that you perform to one visual or just one click is affecting the rest of the report visualizations that are in the report page. So at the moment, so there are two options for you to, there are three options actually to alter these visual interactions. So you can basically, in other words, when you click on Roger here, you can allow the visualizations which are sales breakdown by product and the sales breakdown visuals, which are the line chart and the bar chart, to behave in three different ways as per your preference. So the first way is what you see in the screen right now, which is the cross highlight way, which means that when you click on this particular, when you click on Roger, it would highlight from the existing visual, it would highlight the proportion that's relevant to Roger, right? That's what happened. That's what happens in this particular visual. And in the line chart, that's not how it works as far as I know. So in the line chart, yeah, line charts. So line charts, you cannot really cross highlight, right? You cannot highlight a particular area, right, in a line chart, which is really practical. So in the line chart, you see the cross highlight filter, which means that it would highlight I'm sorry, the cross filter option. It chooses the cross filter option as an interaction when you click on Roger, right? So cross filter means that it would basically restructure the visual as per the selection that's made in this particular visual. So, so you can see that what that means is that, for example, if you look at the line chart right now, you can see that it's in a specific way, right? It shows the overall sales for a specific period of time. But if you click on Roger, you can see it transforms into a specific stage, right? So basically, it filters out the sales that are only related to Roger at this stage. So that's what cross filter. So cross filter, once again, you have three ways in which you can allow the visual interactions to behave. First way is with the cross highlight option, which you see in the bar chart, which highlights only the relevant data from your entire visual. And then on the line chart, what you see is the cross filter option, which just filters out all the data that are relevant sales or the data that are relevant to Roger only in this stage, and just transforms your line chart into the relevant way, into a relevant way for Roger. And that's what this is all about. So those are two options. And the third option is that basically when you click on Roger, you can just, if that's a requirement, you can make other visuals not behave or not react or not be affected by the selection that you made to this particular visual, which is the sales breakdown by cross-sell. For example, what that means is when you click on Roger, there is an option for you to disable the interaction, which means interaction in the visuals that you see in the rest of the page, which means that you can disable the which means that when you click on Roger, there would be no changes to the rest of the visuals. So let's have a look at each of that in a bit of in a bit of detail kind of the way. So how do you get into this stage in terms of change in the behavior or the change in the visual interaction of each of the visual is by just clicking on a visual. So in this case, my visual is sales breakdown by customer. I would click on that and I would go to the format option. And in the format option, I would see something called edit interactions. So when I click on edit interactions, you can see the options that on the other visuals that it allows to behave. You can show the other options that you can allow those specific visuals to behave from the effect of this particular of an action you do to this visual, which is the sales breakdown by customer. So the first one is the cross filter option, which is you filter out only the specific data. You filter out the entire visual that are relevant to the other visual that has some kind of action. And then other option is cross highlight, as I told you, and the final option is not causing any behavior or not causing, basically disabling visual interactions for this particular visual. So I thought I would take this particular visual and show you the effect of each of that. So the first thing is cross highlight. You saw the effect of that which existed by default. You can see that only the necessary data is highlighted. So at this stage, if I click on the filter option that I see on the sales breakdown by product, you would see that only the data that are related to Roger is filtered out at this stage, right? And if I click on the none option, which is to disable the visual interactions for this visual, you can see it's back to the default field. And whatever you select, there will be no changes to this visual, right? So at this stage, I want to keep this at the cross filter option, because even in client requirements, what I do is usually go to the cross filter option rather than the cross highlight option, because I personally believe, and most of us believe, that with the cross filter option, that it is easy for the client to understand the specific data, to identify the relevant data from the opposing visuals that are in a particular report page, right? So we usually use the cross filter options wherever it's possible, but as you can see, the cross filter option does not exist to the line chart. If you hit to the bottom top, you can only use the cross highlight option is not available in the line chart. The cross filter option is there by default, and it's what it's being used. It's what's being used. So that's available by default, and the cross highlight option is not available here because of the same reason that I told you previously, because it's not practical to highlight a specific section from visual like a line chart, because it wouldn't make sense and it would be too confusing, right? Even if it existed. So yeah, so cross filter option is definitely the option for visuals like line charts. And I had shifted the cross filter option to shifted to the cross filter option from the cross highlight option to this particular visual bar chart as well. This in this bar chart, which is the sales breakdown by product bar chart. So that's that way around in terms of how it's affected. For example, when a customer is selected, the product will be respective products will be filtered out that are purchased by the respective customer. So that's basically that. And how about the other way around? So the other way around, it's the same thing as well. So just since it's let's just deselect that. I want to see, let's get an easier product to read, I guess. Okay, so I would go to Mountain 200 Black 38 product, which is a bike as far as I as I know. So Mountain 200 Black 38 product. So what I would do is I would click on that particular bar. And when I click on that particular bar, you can see that the same effect exists for the sales breakdown by customer as well, right? Sales breakdown by customer and the sales breakdown, right? So you can literally see the same effect in here as well. So what you want to do is replicate the same thing. So in here they had its cross highlight is being used. So you want to use cross filter instead. So that would just filter out who are the folks, who are the customers who purchased Mountain 200 Black 38 bikes. So I hope that those are bikes. So let's just assume that those are bikes. And so you can see that these particular customers purchase these particular products, right? So that's just the replication of the same thing. And you can see the effect of the line chart. It's literally the same as what happened with the sales breakdown by custom visual when we clicked on a bar. So yeah, So that's about it. So custom visual interactions is really important to take your visualizations, take your reports to the next level. So that's just a bit about that. And next up is something that you guys need to know as well, which is custom visuals, which are not custom visuals are the visuals that are not available by default in the visualizations pane in Microsoft Power BI. So the visualizations pane is this, as I told you, where my cursor is right now. So it says where it says visualizations, and you have the visualizations right here. So basically, visualizations that does not, there are visualizations that does not um, exist here and that are custom made, right? So these visuals are called custom visuals that have that are used to cater specific requirements. So how do you access custom visuals? There are two ways you can access custom visuals. One way is that you can head into you can just click on the ellipses that you see in the visualizations pane, which are the three dots. Click on that and click on Get More Visuals. And you would be headed into a window that shows you several custom visuals that you can use for your day-to-day activities. So that's that you can use to fulfill your requirements. So that's one way to access custom visuals. So this is called an app source. What you see, basically these are called app source visuals. Basically, what you see, these visuals are in something called an app source. So yeah. So you can access the app source from through your web browser as well. So how do you do that is, let me have a look at that, whether I can show that to you guys as well. Is basically click on all right. So yeah, basically what you want to do is click on Power BI app source. So just a minute with that. Yeah. So what I just did was just search for Power BI app source, and you have two options, which is Power BI Visual Marketplace and Power BI Business App Source. I'm assuming that it literally means you literally can access. No, I'm sorry. This is for business apps. Marketplace is the right place. So you can access the custom visuals from here as well. But what we usually do is we don't go. What you do is in here is basically you have to just head into a visual, just download the visual, and head into a report, right? Head into your report and click on the ellipses and just import from a visual from file kind of option. That's what you have to use in this stage, right? If you get it from the web browser. So that's kind of, for me, it's kind of not the most productive thing to do. And it's, yeah, it's simply not the most productive thing to do. So what we usually do is just go to Get More Visuals, and you can see the entire visuals here. And we just get the visuals from here, right? And so there are plenty of visuals. You guys can go into each of these and see how it works out. So I'm just to show you the effect of this. It's literally the same as the normal visuals that you see in the visualization pane, but there can be certain effects in terms of optimization, performance, and sort of those things. So it's always good to get Power BI certified visuals as well. So how do you identify a Power BI certified visual is that you should right in front of the visual name, you should be able to see a tick inside a star kind of thing, inside a blue color star kind of thing. And when you hold it, it should say Power BI certified. So those visuals are really good to go ahead with. I'm not really sure of the effect of the other visuals, but I'm sure that the other visuals are not bad either. And if you just go right into it also, you can see that in yellow, uh, it says Power BI certified, right? So those are the recommended visuals. So what I'm heading to, just to show you how these works, is a visual which I really like, which is called word cloud, which is something that I have been using for quite a while, because it seems to make a lot of sense, but there is some work that you need to put into it, but I'm not doing that entirely right here. It's something that I really like, but it entirely depends on the client whether he or she is satisfied with it, right? But it's something that I personally like, and something that gives a very clear and a very clean perspective of your data uh, with respect to certain dimensions and measures, right? So I would be using Server Cloud at this stage as well. So how I use that is I click on the Get It Now option, which is a blue color button. So when I click on that, you can see that the custom visual appears. It says the visual was successfully imported into this report, and I will click on OK. And you can see the word cloud custom visual right under the visualizations pane in a separate bar. So I would use that instead of the sales breakdown by product bar chart. I would be using the word cloud instead. So just to brief you guys in terms of what the word cloud is all about. Uh, so at this stage, it might not make the best out of sense, because what this is it takes the words that are in the category, and just the size of the word depends on the proportion of the values that are related to that particular word. For example, there are a lot of products that are sold with the name of mountain, right? That's why you can see that mountain text in a larger size. And same with road, same with black. So same with yellow. So whatever the things that you see, small font sizes or small font sizes uh, is where you have little sales made for that particular product. That's just a little bit about that. And even if you highlight over it, you can see the effect each of those visuals have. For example, you can see for mountain, you can see that there are over 42 million sales that are made when you just hover over mountain. That's like the biggest text that you see here. So it's clearly visible that a mountain is making a lot of sales here. But it's in this case, it's not the most practical thing. There is some work that you need to put into, like kind of highlight the entire product, right? I mean, get the entire product into just to use the entire product. So product name. So in this stage, it's just using mountain, which is a section, which is a part of the text from which is just a part of the text, a proportion of the text from the products that you see. So that's not really uh, 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 giving you a clear picture at this stage. There's some work that you need to put into, like, to get the entire product and to just make sure that the products with the highest number of sales to show the entire product name in a larger font size, there is some work that you need to put into that, but I wouldn't go into that stage. But just to show you the effect of a custom visual, I thought of just using this at this stage. In the future sessions, I might even check this because it doesn't make really a lot of sense. But just to show you the around custom visuals, I thought of just having this right for now. So that's custom visuals. So as you can see, even in the field pane that you see, format pane that you see for the custom visual, you can see it's identical to whatever the visuals that are available by default in Power BI, right? You can see a category where you can just apply a category, you can see values, and you can just set some data stuff that you want to exclude in a particular another field. So it's literally the same as the other visuals, right? So that's just a bit of custom visuals for you guys. And next up is something that would add a lot of power to your reports, which is the drill through functionality. Drill through functionality. Drill through functionality is about basically getting deep into detail of your from one stage of the report to another stage of the report. You basically filter out the necessary detail in another page kind of thing. Basically, what it does is it is used for some. It is mainly used. This is for something called diagnosis analytics. I'm not sure whether you guys are aware of that, but what that means is basically uh, uh, with analytics, you find out why something is happening by diving deep into the existing data that exists. So maybe I thought maybe I should show you guys around that, since that's really important and really simple to implement. So how you do that is, so I would apply the drill through. My drill through, so there are something called drill through pages. So my drill through page at this stage would be the detail page. Since that would be a drill through page, what I would do is I would create a duplicate of this particular page. And I would rename it as a detailed drill through. And that is my, I have made that as made that up to there as my drill through page. And what I want to do is I want to drill through by customer. I want to drill through from this particular overview from customer to I want to drill through to this particular page. So how I do that is I just head into that particular page, drill through page, which is the detailed drill through page. And what I would do next is I would navigate to my fields pane and go find the customer attribute, and I would just drag and drop it to the add drill through fields here option that you see right under drill through. That's available by default in this particular page. So once again, this is available by default when you just click on the detailed drill through page. You can see the add drill through fields here by default under the drill through heading in the format pane. So what you do is basically just click on whatever the attribute you want to drill through with. So in this case, it's customer. So I would just drag and drop customer into this add drill through fields here option. And it would add customer as my drill through field. And with the change, you can see that I got a default back button to get back to my previous stage, right? Because the Power BI had identified that this particular page is a drill through page right now because we had added a drill through field to a field to drill through with. So it gave me a back button by default. So let's just arrange that a bit as well so that I can show you the entire effect of this. I would just drag the heading a bit to my right hand side, and I would just align my drill through button a bit and maybe try and make it white so that it's much more clear, and make it a little bit bigger. Right. I think we are all good with the back button here. And drill through detailed, I would want to make it a bit closer. Yes, right. I think we are all good. Yeah, so we are all good with our drill through page here. And what you want to do now is to see the effect of the drill through, head into the overview page and head into where you see customer, which is the sales breakdown by customer, and just right click on whatever the you can say on whatever the customer that you want to drill through into in the drill through page. I would select Roger at this stage, and I would drill through into the detailed drill through page. And when I right click on Roger, you can see an option called drill through. And when you hover over drill through, you can see our detailed drill through page captured there, right? So I would click on that. And when I click on that, I would be headed back into the drill through page, but this time it would show me only the data that are related to the customer, Roger, right? That's clear here. So Roger had contributed to 877,303 sales. Which is a sales amount of 877,303. So you can see how you easily drill down to that level, right? So basically, once again, I'll show you. Just right click on whatever the data item or the data field that you want to drill through with. So in this case, it's Roger for me. So I would right click on that and you would see a drill through option and just click on the and when you hover over drill through, you would see an option called detailed drill through, and you would see our page which is detailed drill through. So I will click on that. What we usually do is, since these two page seems to be replicating at this stage, we usually hide this page, the drill through pages. So just right click and hide that particular page. So it would not appear in the Power BI service once we publish into it. So just drill through and you have the same effect as previously. And if you want to get back, you can use the back button. But if you are using the back button in Power BI desktop, you have to make sure that you have clicked on the control key and click on your cursor, and that would show you the effect of the back button, and you would be headed back into the previous overview stage. And even if you click on another customer in this stage, I would try and click on undo Dixon. And when I click on that, it would, you can see that I can see Andrew's data only here, the sales that Andrew is contributing to. So that's just a bit of drill throughs for you guys. Very simple to implement, but has a lot of power in terms of specifically diagnosis analytics these days. So yeah, that's something to really keep in mind to get your reports to the next level. And that takes us to our final demo of the day, which is the conditional formatting a functionality that is available in Power BI. Conditional formatting is about basically adding some color to your report in terms of the high and low ends of your data, right? For example, if you want to show that if you want to indicate some low level of sales, you can with conditional formatting, you can highlight them or indicate them in red kind of a color so that it just shows out as these particular sales are very low. And if you want to show high sales and if you want to show mid-range sales, you can use yellow and green color. And the colors are entirely your preference, but by default, what we use in client requirements are those colors because it makes, I mean, it's clear and it makes a lot of sense psychologically as well. So specifically when someone sees red, everyone knows that it's danger, right? So if it's green, everyone knows that everything's cool, right? So if it's yellow, everyone knows that it's average or moderate, right? So there is some kind of psychological effect to conditional formatting as well. Yeah, so that's kind of something I wanted to show you guys about So to head into that, I would so I want to in this stage I want to apply conditional formatting for my detailed drill through and my detailed page, right? So I want to add conditional formatting to the sales amount, right? For the amount of sales that's made. At this stage, I just want to make sure that I set conditional formatting here. So basically, I want to set conditional formatting to this particular table visual. So I will click on that, and you can see that the values that are related to this table appear in the format pane. And from here, what is important to me is the sales amount, because I want to indicate sales amount when it's not doing too good and when it's okay kind of thing, when it's moderate and when it's really good. I just want to indicate those situations with some color. So how I do that is I go to the sales amount field, and when I click on the down arrow key, down arrow in the sales amount, I would be headed into this kind of a what do you call toolbar. This kind of option I would you would be headed into these kind of options, and in here you can see an option called conditional formatting. So by conditional formatting, what I'm interested about is the icons. You can so in here you have a variety of options to apply conditional formatting. You can apply conditional formatting by background color. You can set a background color to that particular column as per the amount of sales and all that. You can change the font color as per the amount of sales. You can add something called data bars. Uh, and show some color as per the amount of sales, and you can add icons and different icon colors as per the amount of sale. So a variety of conditional formatting for you to go with. So in this case, I thought of going with icons because I really do like icons, and it's something that I commonly use with clients as well these days. So icons is something to really think about. So something that really looks compelling for me personally, so I would go with that. So a conditional formatting, and I would click on icons, and it would direct me to a window as why is the window not appearing? It should appear right now. Oh yeah, sorry, it got a bit of time there. It should take you to a window, as you can see in the screen right now. And you can see that the conditional formatting, the settings under the conditional formatting that we set up, right? So you want to go in the rules form. You basically there are two ways in which you can format or apply conditional formatting with. You can apply according to the field value. Uh, Based on a particular field, or you can apply that as rules, which is something similar to an if condition, right? Basically, if this is, if, for example, if sales is between this to this particular range, make sure that it indicates as red. If sales indicates between this particular range, indicate as hello, kind of thing. So in this case, I would go to rules I'm going with rows, and I would go to the values only option. I'm not concerned about totals because this is a drill through page, and it what would make a lot of sense is if you add conditional formatting to the values, right? Not the total that you see at the bottom of the table, right? So yeah, I would go to the values only. And the next thing I want to do, I'm sorry, this is a drill through page as well. So it would be appropriate, according to my personal understanding, to show the values, provide conditional formatting to values rather than the total, right? It wouldn't make sense if you add conditional formatting to totals, right? So in this case, I would add conditional formatting to values, and my field would be the sales amount. And in here, this is the style that's selected by default, but you can change the icon specifically in this by heading into each particular rule that you see on the bottom under the rules. So I would head into that. So I want to change this. So what you see is percentages at this stage. I don't want to play with percentages. I want to play with numbers instead. So first thing is I would shift everything to numbers here. So I shifted everything to numbers, and the next thing I want to do is I want to just indicate that wherever it makes I want to indicate my values, right? The sales figures, right? So what I'm saying is if the sales amount is let's say 1,000 or less, I indicate it as red, and I want to show it as a red diamond at this stage. And if the sales amount is greater than or equal to 1,000, and it's less than, I would say, 5,000. Indicate it as yellow, and I would shift this back to yeah, I would just keep this as a triangle at this stage, but you guys can change it as per your preference. You can even use arrows here, so that's an option. Or flags. Oh, I think we'll go with flags because it looks kind of good. So I usually use this uh, circles which look like traffic lights. I think we'll go with that, right? Just to review because how it should happen, right? So I will click on the circle here, and here once again I wouldn't make it a triangle because I would make it a circle because I want the shapes to be consistent as well. So because I don't want it to be too overwhelming to the client, so I would make the shapes same in every conditional formatting icon. And the next thing I want to do is I want to change the value. I'm sorry. I want to change the rule for what should indicate to green, right? So if it's greater than or equal to 5,000, and let's say less than, you don't specifically want a less than in here, but since I would just provide this as 100,000, because no one's going to make an order line of 100,000, right? That's pretty rare. Let's make it 500,000 just in this case, just to show you the effect of that. And just click on OK. And you can see the effect of each and every visual. You can see the circles, which indicates that which are the really good sales and which are the not really good sales that are made for the specific date, product, and by the specific customer, right? So that's conditional formatting to you, and you don't need to replicate the same thing in the drill through page as well. You can just copy this and head into the other page and basically delete whatever that exists in that page and just paste that page, paste it right there. And yeah, that's basically the drill through and conditional formatting and all that. So we have said that everything up here, and just a small thing before we complete the session, finish the session, just head into the format pane, format option, and make sure that you unselect edit interactions so that these icons would not be annoying and it wouldn't show up every time you click on a visual. So that's necessary only when you use visual interactions. When you want to play around with visual interactions, if that's not the case, you can just click on whatever the visual you want and just deselect edit interactions, and it wouldn't show up until you get back to it again. So that's what we basically did in this session, and that kind of concludes our session for today. So I hope you guys got something out of this session, and also there are more advanced features that you guys can work around with as well. Some of those you can have a look as well. Some of those features are custom tooltips. Then you can play around with buttons and bookmarks as well. So plenty more options there, and plenty more options there. So yeah, it's really there are like plenty of ways that you can take your reports to the next level. So make sure you guys have a look at that as well. So because of the time limitation and everything, I didn't want to overwhelm you guys too much. And I hope you guys have got something important out of this session. So yeah, Azan, thank you very much for having me for the first session. And Asif, I think I took 15 minutes out of your session today as well.
That's
So
my session. Thank you.
so really sorry about that. And anyway, thank you very much, Azan, for having me. And Asif, I hope you will have a great session. I hope your session would be great as well. So thank you very much, Azan, and have a great session, Asif. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Thimantha. Thank
Thimantha.
you very much.
Thank you. Okay,
Hello,
yeah, I would stop sharing my screen so that Asif can share it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, take care. Thank you.
Let me share my whole screen, I think. Wait, are you able to see my screen? Let me...
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Thank you, Thimantha. A very nice session, and getting up so early in the morning. For me, I think it's quite difficult to get up early in the morning. Yeah. Thank you, Hasan Bhai, for providing me the opportunity. I'm really thankful of you and team for giving me the opportunity. About me, today I am going to discuss about blockchain app design and development part 3. It's a 3-part series we have done. It's like in part 1 and part 2, we have discussed about what is the blockchain, basically the basics, and what are the tools required for blockchain development. And then we gone through the different type of smart contract, like bit of coding in part 2. And today's part, we are going to discuss how we can deploy that app which we develop in part 2 in locally onto the blockchain in the cloud network, it's like maybe on Azure or AWS or wherever. About me, I am Mohammad Asif Bakar. I'm a cloud solution architect at Singapore, and I'm Microsoft MVP. And yeah, if you want to reach me out, you can follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn. Yeah. So this is a 3-part series we are doing. This basic of blockchain and app development. Second was smart contracts and security concepts. And today we are going to do the blockchain app deployment on Azure. This is today's agenda. So we are going to discuss on like what are the types of blockchain as a service, and how we'll deploy the contract, means blockchain contract, on Azure. And then we'll discuss on blockchain deployment on Azure, and then we'll see all the demo and everything. So even though if you are new to the blockchain, means this series, you don't need to worry on much on that. This session I will cover some part of means like how we'll do the development of blockchain from like just by kind of from scratch, and because means we need to develop a smart contract. We have already developed a smart contract in part 2, so the same contract I will use in part 3 deployment. So in part 2, part 1, what we have discussed is basics of blockchain and some of the blockchain tools. How can we create the project? What are the tools we required? So like for creating a new project or for creating means a new app, what are the environments we need? So for the local development of blockchain, there is a tool called Ganache, which is a local blockchain network. And for managing your code, so we need a tool called Truffle. So Truffle suite. So you can see the icon here. And in this series, we are discussing more on Ethereum blockchain. And there are several frameworks for a blockchain network. There are frameworks for like Corda and Hyperledger and Ethereum and different use case. Because there are in part 1 we have discussed about what are the types of blockchain. It's like there are 2 types of blockchain, like public blockchain or private blockchain. So Ethereum comes under public blockchain network. So anyone can take a part, anyone can participate, and there are different use case for using a private blockchain network or public blockchain network. Like suppose you are using any shopping cart website or anything, so anyone can use. There is a no it's like anyone can go for shopping and can buy things from there. So in that kind of application, we can say that we can use a public blockchain network. But if you are considering in terms of security, in terms of means like secure network, or in terms of means like the people whom I should know in the network, means it is a mandatory criteria that you want to know the organizations which are involved in the network. So that approach goes for private blockchain network. So the tools are there, frameworks are there, like Hyperledger, Corda. These are the blockchain framework which provides a private blockchain network. Okay, so and in until today, means like Microsoft was providing a Azure blockchain as a service, but recently I don't means like I'm not sure why they discontinued. Previously, they was providing a blockchain as Azure blockchain as a service, which was built on Quorum blockchain framework, and which was a enterprise version of Ethereum, which I'm going to discuss today. So Ethereum is an open source blockchain network, and the enterprise version of Ethereum is called Quorum. So in 2015, JP Morgan and some organization came and they formed the Quorum organization, which is also bought by recently the Consensus. Consensus is also means blockchain development, you can say, organization, and yeah, they are really doing a great job in that. And for development of blockchain, these are the tools we need for the local blockchain: Truffle and Ganache, 2 tools, and VS Code if you have. So VS Code have some extension I will show later in the demo. And then you need to connect to the Ethereum network. So currently we don't have an option for Azure blockchain as a service. Although they have Azure blockchain development kit and Azure blockchain but you need to have Ethereum node available for to connect that. It means like you cannot create a new node in that. So in that scenario, we need to choose some other providers like Quorum, or it's like some other like AWS. You need to host your Ethereum node, and then you can connect and join the network. So that's the option. But there are a couple of other blockchain as service providers which I will discuss today. In part 2, we have also discussed more on how we develop the smart contract. A smart contract is nothing but like a digital contract between the different parties. So when we talk about the blockchain, the first thing comes under my mind is like if there is any change in the state, if there is any new transaction, so that should be registered on the blockchain network. Means like there is no edit option. There is always create. And so blockchain is nothing but you can say decentralized database with strong consistency support. So means like in blockchain network, all the parties will have their own node, or maybe they will join some other node. So in that scenario, for for managing the nodes, and they need to have some application, right, for doing the transaction. So what they will do, they will have their own application, and they will write the logic in terms of smart contracts. So there were different types of smart contracts, like legal smart contract, decentralized autonomous organization smart contracts, distributed application dApps, or contracting devices, so all having a different use case. Then we have also discussed in part 2, like when we are developing a smart contract, so what type of smart contracts, like like what type of smart contract tokens we need, like ERC20, or there are different, like suppose you have a conditional smart contract, so like what type of smart contracts you need. So yeah, if you maybe for more details, you can take a part, you can see the video of part 2, we will post later. And in that part only, we have developed one smart contract to-do list. So basically the objective was to create a CRUD application for using a blockchain. And in that we have actually developed a smart contract using our local blockchain network Ganache, and we deployed on the local blockchain network Ganache. We did a transaction for adding the adding the fields, and then accordingly we have done. So what was in that is, if you see that structure of the smart contracts, like the first is defines the version of the Solidity. Solidity is a language in the smart contract basically. So when you are writing a smart contracts, like we have a Python, Java, or whatever, same as this for writing the smart contracts for Ethereum, there is a language called Solidity. So there are other languages as well, but it's the most popular language. Then we have to define it's a, like a base class for to-do list, and it was more on how many counts we are adding. So then we have initialized the count, and then we have declared the variables, like I want to create a means like contracts, you can say, create a add the values, and then suppose if the task is completed, so I just want to check it like completed. So that's why I have defined here like the value for a string content, like what exactly task I want. And then there was a status for it, if it is completed or not. So you can see there we have two events, like task created and task completed here. And in while initial page load event, we have initialized the create task event, and then we have written the logic of processing the create task, task created or task emitted. So this was a basic smart contract, and we have written in part 2, and we have deployed this smart contracts on blockchain network, local blockchain network, that's called Ganache. So let me show you what exactly, so it will be more better to understand. Yeah. So when you means like want to develop a start a blockchain platform, okay, means for the local development. So you need a tool this called Ganache. So this is a local blockchain network, and for managing your code in your means in your repo, we need sorry. We need a tool called Truffle. So this is a Truffle suite for managing your development of the tools, managing your code. So I will show in the demo how exactly we will create with the help of Truffle. And so in VS Code, there are two extensions provided. That's called, it was developed by Microsoft. Blockchain development kit, which is called. So there are, if you are developing a blockchain with IBM, because IBM provides Hyperledger and Hyperledger Besu, both are private blockchain networks. So you can use IBM blockchain platform. Or if you are developing for Ethereum, I think this was provided by Microsoft, and it's a really good tool. You can create a project from scratch. Let me show you how exactly you can create. So you can see there, blockchain new Solidity project. And then you can create a project, Trufflebox, or there are from Trufflebox, there are some examples available, so you can do that. These all things I have actually covered in part 2, so I will not go much in deeper, but for just giving an overview, you basically to understand. Okay, and so we need first is a Ganache, second is a Truffle suite for local development, and then we need a extension for sorry. My screen is some problem. Okay. Now what we are going to do today is whatever the app we have developed in past. Let me open the app. First, we are going to let me first cover my. Okay, so let me first cover the so types of blockchain as a service. So when we are, this is the local part which we covered. Now I want to deploy on the blockchain network. This is a blockchain as a service, because there are several providers which are providing blockchain as a service solution, and there are few of them like Hyperledger Besu. Hyperledger Besu is provided from IBM, and it's enterprise version of Ethereum, you can say. And you don't need to manage that. The good thing is you don't need to manage the wallet, because when we are deploying a blockchain, so if it's an open blockchain network like Ethereum, so in that case, because no one is managing the network, so somehow it's like how to maintain the network, what we need is we need a gas, and gas is something like network fees, you can say. So to pay the network fees of each provider, like whoever is using, so they need to manage a wallet. But in terms of when it comes for private blockchain network like Quorum or Besu or any other, you don't need to do that. But for Infura and all, because it supports Ethereum, so you need a wallet. And Kaleido is also a really good blockchain network, blockchain as a service. In that you can create a blockchain network within a few clicks, like how we used to create with the Azure or AWS. So you can create a blockchain network in Kaleido, and you can deploy on Amazon, AWS, or Google Cloud, wherever you want. And same as this, AWS is also providing a blockchain as a service. In today's session, I will cover on Infura, and then I will a little bit explain about the Kaleido, because I like this platform a lot. And actually, this is Hyperledger Besu is also a very good blockchain framework. But yeah, it's quite vast, so I cannot cover in one session. Maybe in future, I will try to cover. This is uh, this is for Infura. Infura is a blockchain as a service provider. Let me show how exactly it looks like in. So you can see here, this is Infura portal. You just need your ID to log in. Okay, and you can create a new project. Like suppose I want to create a new project based on Ethereum, Ethereum 2. Ethereum 2 is the latest version of Ethereum. And there is IPFS. Suppose if you want to save some files on your blockchain network, so means you can use the IPFS, and there are means like a product like. So I'm going to create for the Ethereum, and like a demo to-do list. So this is a blockchain as a service. So you can see it's my node is almost ready, and what it will provide you is it will provide you endpoints for different network. One is the mainnet. Mainnet is a actual Ethereum network, so it's a production network. When you are suppose if you have let's see, like Ethereum balance, and you are using a production ready application, so yeah, then you will use in that. Ropsten is a test network, so you don't need anything. You means like there are you can get the test ether from the Ropsten network and perform the blockchain transactions that I'm going to do today. And there is also Kovan and Rinkibai and Gorley. So these are also a test network. So if you want to use, you can leverage these network. And I will show you how exactly, because this is my blockchain network which I have created, demo to-do list. Now my task is to create a project, means like smart contract, and consume this blockchain as a service to do a transaction. In previous session, what we have done, this blockchain network was created by Ganache. So in Ganache, we have created, I mean, like there was a blockchain network, you can say. You can see it is running in my local host 7545, and in this network, whatever the transaction we have performed, so you can see the transaction details here. But actually, currently I have not performed anything, so there is nothing showing. And they have also means like test ether for means testing your local blockchain. In this case, for Ropsten network, I will request an ether from Ropsten test ether network that's called faucetropsten.be. What I need to do, actually, whenever you are deploying a smart contract, right? So smart contract, you need some middle layer to connect to the blockchain network. You cannot directly connect to the blockchain network. So in that case, you need a tool called MetaMask. So MetaMask is a kind of this is for the open blockchain network, especially for the Ethereum. So what you need is you need a wallet, MetaMask wallet, and with the help of MetaMask, you can connect to the blockchain network to perform the transaction. Suppose this is my wallet and I don't have any ether, test ether. So what I will do is first I will create. It is available in Google Chrome extension, so you can download there. And let me show you how to download Chrome MetaMask. So you can see this is you just need to add the MetaMask in your I have already added, so and then you need to just sign up for the account. Okay, if you have already a MetaMask, so you can also import the existing one. There is a option for import your seed phrase. So seed phrase basically will be like an import account, or you can also like in securities if you go, so it's like I can every account will have a unique seed phrase which will be like a 12 digit you can say text. Like for me, this is my actually test account, so I don't have any problem to show. So you can see this is my means like seed phrase. I can with the, means like if I use this seed phrase, so I can import this wallet anywhere and in my local or wherever. So I will get the ether balance actually. So in case if some hacker want to steal your money, so what they need is they need your seed phrase basically. So it's kind of secure string, which will be if they got it, so they can take out your all balance. So what I want is I want to get some more ether in this account to perform the transaction. So what I will do is I will just go in the faucet. This is the test ether, and it will be added to my queue. And after some time, currently my balance is 5.4 something. I think after some time it will be reflected, maybe in few minutes. So yeah, that's with the MetaMask and others. Okay. So when we talk about the wallet, so it is a secure wallet, you can say, and secure wallet would have two things. One is a seed phrase, and then they will have their private key. So private key will be basically your account address. So it will be helpful for signing the transaction. So yeah, because like suppose if you have money, right? So money, because in blockchain, the transaction always happen from one address to another address. So if you are managing the wallet and you want to perform the transaction on the blockchain network, so you need a wallet address, and that is your account address. So you can have multiple accounts, but yeah, you should have, and this will be your private key. So and you can hold any type of Ethereum, BTC or XRP coins in that, which will be, and then you can perform the transaction. It will go to the other address. So that's how. Suppose if I want to send the money to some other person, so what I need is I need his address. So means like there is an option to send the money. So now you see my Ethereum is reflected here. It's 7.8 now. And if I want to send the money from one account to another, I can do that. Means like I just need to specify the account address and it will be transferred. Yeah. So now the next is so what I'm going to do today is I have already developed a basic app in the part 2, which was a React app, React Native app. And in that, I have used two things. So whenever you deploy the smart contract, right? So whenever you're deploying the smart contract, you will get two things. One is the smart contract address, and there will be another thing will be called ABI. So ABI is information of your API, smart contract API, or you can say all the smart contract details to means like you can say. So what we need whenever we are developing any applications, like you're developing on Java or you are developing on .NET or you're developing on React, Angular, whatever. So you just need only two things. One is account address, where exactly you are deploying your smart contracts. Like I'm going to deploy today on Infura, and so Infura smart contract address. And second is ABI. ABI is a smart contract details, and that details I am going to use in my React Native app to uh, to display the data basically. And that app I will containerize, means with using Docker, and then I will publish onto the with the help of Azure DevOps on Azure, and they will be using Kubernetes and Azure Container Services. That's what I'm going to do today. Let me show you by end of the session what you will see. So this is already a one demo which I have deployed here. This is running on my AKS cluster, and which is, yeah, this is my AKS cluster. Sorry. So this is my I have one AKS cluster and one ACR to deploy this app, and which is running. So let me go and perform some transaction and show you how exactly it looks like. Then we will go and see how to deploy the, because we have already created the Infura service. Now we need to deploy the smart contract by creating. So let's just do demo 1. So you see when we are performing the transaction, it is interacting with the MetaMask, because MetaMask is a plugin which requires to talk to the blockchain network. So it is going to talk to the blockchain network called Infura. And because this is my local account address, so from one address to the another address, and so this transaction will appear in, it will take some time, and it will appear. So you can see that I got the notification that my transaction is confirmed, and let's see, the data is reflected. So you can see the data is reflected, demo 1. Okay, that's a thing. So we got how exactly it will look like. Now let's go and do the deployment. So for creating the, currently I'm going to create a blockchain project. So what we need is as I earlier mentioned, for creating a blockchain project, you need a Truffle suite. Truffle suite is basically to manage your project. And with VS Code extension, if you have already downloaded the Azure Blockchain Development Kit, so Truffle suite is already inbuilt. You don't need to separately do that. So yeah, but let me just go through it. So you can see my project is created. By default, I will get a migration contract, and like this is my Truffle config, which is my you can say config details. Okay, now because I have already prepared some script, so just yeah. And one more thing, when you are deploying the, just hold on. Sorry, just a minute. I need to. Yeah, so now this is the HD wallet. So basically, when we are developing application in locally, so we don't need means like HD wallet. But when we are going to deploy on Azure blockchain as a service solutions like on Kaleido or maybe Azure or maybe AWS or Hyper-Ledger Besu or wherever. So we need HD wallet extension because HD wallet will be kind of digital wallet which will be created and they will have their account address. So account address we will create for ourselves. So let's first create the HD wallet for this. My is not copying. Sorry, my window is a bit slow. Let me zoom a bit. Yeah. So I'm going to install the Truffle HD wallet provider, which is helpful for connecting to the blockchain as a service. Then because we only got the wallet. Now what we need is we need an account address. We need an account address for connecting to the blockchain network. Okay, so what we need because we are working in local. So for locally, what we need is we will create with the help of local blockchain network called Ganache, the account address. We'll get the account address. So this is my local Ganache CLI. So for initiating the blockchain network, you just need to type the Ganache CLI and your blockchain network will be ready to run. Okay. Until then, it's downloading. Just let me go through quickly. Now, for communicating with the local blockchain network, we will talk with the help of Truffle console. So what we will do, we will, because we already got the HD wallet, now we need an account address. So account address we will get with the help of Truffle console. So let's do that. It's very slow actually. So you can see now with the help of Truffle console, I am talking to Ganache. So it's showing the Ganache here. So let me now I have this is the HD wallet provider I am trying to, and this is my mnemonic for my local wallet address. So let me show you how exactly this is my, because in my local MetaMask only I have accounts. So what I will do is to get this account address for the wallet, HD wallet, means I will use this mnemonic. So you can see this is my mnemonic and same I am going to use here. So let's go and just quickly get the details of mnemonic. Okay, now next is HD valid provider, because it's running in with the local host. So that's why I am going to get the local host valid address. Now this, because I am getting the local host with the help of mnemonic, I am going to get the local host valid address. Just type the, so you can see these are the valid address. These are the valid address for my local host. Now it depends on like you want to use the first address, you want to use the second address. Later I will show you how exactly basically we can use a different account address for performing the transaction. Okay, now let me quickly so one thing, because this if anyone have your mnemonic, and so what they can do, they can completely steal your wallet. So to avoid that kind of scenario, we will install means like npm, there's a called environment.net.environment. So I will create a, let me just go out. So what I will do, I will create a one .env file, but for this demo, actually, I will not use that, but I will show exactly where exactly I can use that. Okay, so in truffle.config, let me show you how exactly it was. Let me quickly replace, and then I will explain what I'm doing there. So this is the default Truffle config. So you can see here we have SD wallet providers, different networks. Previously in the in the part 2 we have only the development, which was our local host, and we don't have any other network for the deployment. So we haven't used any other. But now today we are going to use another Dropstem network. So you can see here I have two networks. One is my local development and one is a Dropstem network. In Dropstem network, with the help of HD wallet, I'm using my seed phrase to sign the transaction, and whatever is my Dropstem Infura address. So actually we don't need to give here directly, but for the demo sake, just I have done. We need to create one .env file, and we will use like Infura like key or seed phrase, and then we'll call the seed phrase here directly. So it will help to save the your seed phrase or whatever the confidential information. So let me go, because I have already created the Dropstem network. So what I will do, this is the new network. Okay, so I will copy this here, because the objective is I want to perform a transaction on this network with the help of this my account, which is the help of seed address. Okay, so now we are ready with the basic structure of the project. Now we need a smart contract. So let's quickly create one smart contract called to-do list .sol. The extension for Solidity is SOL. Okay, and what exactly we need is, because in part 1 we have already created a smart contract. So let's just quickly copy, and I have already explained this smart contract before. So yeah, so this is the same thing. I'm just going to copy paste. So as I earlier mentioned, it's like means we are using Solidity version of 0.58. Then we have to-do list, and we have different events for creating and completed the task. Let's just save it. Okay, I think there is some issue. Maybe let me just quickly, because I have already one smart contracts. So yeah, you can see this. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to deploy this smart contract. So before deploying, what we need is we need to create a migration file, because to detect means like which file we are going to deploy. So you can see there are migrations files. So in migration we are doing means like there is a migrations and which one we need to deploy. So same as it is for this, we need to create a one more. So like how many contracts you are using, so you need to create a this files, migration files. It depends, you can include in one only. It's like suppose you have multiple contracts and you want to deploy in one, but for keeping the logs, and I think it's better to just create another file. Now what I will do, I'll just copy this in the to-do list smart contract. So what I'm going to do is this will help to detect the to-do list solution, which is my smart contract, and will to help to deploy. Now the last step is remaining is migrating to the network. So Truffle, with the help of Truffle suite, we are going to migrate this smart contract to the Topster network. So how it will detect the network, because if you can see in the Truffle config, in Truffle config we have two networks. One is the development network, one is the Topster network. So I'm going to deploy on the Topster network. With the help of my seed address, which is my local account address. So it will take us few minutes. So you can see my contracts is being compiled, and as I earlier mentioned, for after deploying the smart contracts, we need two things for integrating our means blockchain app. Like suppose you are using React or .NET or whatever. So we need two things. One is a smart contract address, and second thing is ABI. So ABI file, when there is a build file generated, right? So there is a to-do list. So if you have Azure Blockchain Development Kit installed, extension installed with the VS Code, so you can just right click on this and you can do the contract ABI, copy the contract ABI. Okay, my transition is still happening. So yeah, you can see it is still deploying. You can see the contract address is generated. So this is the contract address which I will use for this is a contract address which is deployed on the blockchain network Topster. Let me quickly copy this contract address. Okay. So this is my React app. Let me quickly open. This was my React application. So I'm going to copy the contract address, and second is the ABI. So if you can see, yeah, it's still deploying. Just wait for a few minutes. Until then, I will, yeah, it's deployed already. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll copy the ABI files. Oh, shit. Sometimes copying is a problem. Yeah. So this is my ABI file I have copied. Now my application is ready. This was the basic React application which I have done in part 2 for performing the to-do list operation. And yeah, so if you are developing the app, so just you need only two things. And suppose if you are doing a bootstrap app, you just use two things, and to perform the operation logic you need to write. Okay, front-end logic. So now what I will do is I will quickly start and see. Okay, yes. Let me make sure that my contact is this account is connected. If not, yeah, it's connected. Okay. What's the problem? Use my account address. Let me copy again. Okay, suppose if you want to check this transaction is performed or not, maybe because sometimes the transaction is pending. So let me go to quickly and see in the Ethereum scan. This is the network for Ethereum scan. So you can just search if this transaction was performed. Yes, it's 3 minutes before. You can see from this to this address and how much transaction was there. Actually, it should. Oh, sorry. This was okay. Contact with this. Now let's see. Yeah, so now you can see because my contact address was wrong, I think. So now let's do the make sure when you are performing the transaction, your MetaMask is connected with your current browser. So if you can see the connected here, if not, then you need to do the connected side, and you can do the manually also. Or yeah, so let's do test one. So you can see it is interacting with the help of MetaMask, and then we are performing the transaction. It will take. So now my application is ready. Local development. I have done Azure blockchain. Now the transaction is performed. So you can see this is test one. Now your application is ready. Means like React app using a blockchain as a service in Infura. Infura is a blockchain as a service on cloud network, wherever it is. Okay. Now what I need to do is because this app I am going to let me just quickly. I will containerize this app with the help of Docker, and then I will publish into the Azure blockchain as a service. So let me quickly. So I will publish this code. So in the Docker file, what I'm doing is this is my working directory basically, and my node modules. Then I'm copying the package.json, and I'm installing all the libraries for package.json. Like we need web3. Web3 is a Ethereum client, so that's an important one which you need to remember. And then I'm going to expose on 301 or wherever you want. Okay, now the next is let me push to GitHub and push. Yeah, so let me go to my GitHub. So this is my 11 seconds ago. You can see this demo blockchain. So now what I will do with the help of Azure DevOps, I will publish this to Kubernetes and using AKS and ACS. So let's just go and quickly create the one AKS cluster and ACS, and we do it by creating a new pipeline. Okay. So Kubernetes containers. Let's quickly create a demo blockchain. Let's rename ACS blockchain Southeast Asia. If anyone have any doubt or anything, you can unmute and ask, or maybe can put in the chat box, because I'm not monitoring the chat. So yeah, I know I'm almost my time is going to over, so just few minutes more. Let me deploy the quickly oh great AKS demo blockchain, AKS blockchain Southeast Asia, and yeah. So my until AKS and ACS will be there. So let's go and quickly create the pipeline. So this is my, actually I have already created one pipeline, but let's go and quickly create the new pipeline to deploy the blockchain application. So this is my GitHub repo. Demo blockchain. It will install some tools. So yeah, let's quickly. So we have already, Microsoft is already providing a lot of good templates, so you can use deploy to Kubernetes. And let me check if my AKS is ready. I think it's still deploying. Just wait for a few seconds. Yeah, so basically this is like if you are able to develop a blockchain locally with Infura, then you just need to package the application with the help of Docker or whatever you want. It's up to your choice, and deploy on the cloud network, maybe AWS or means like Azure or wherever you want. Let me check. Still ready or not taking much time. I think it will take more time. Let me go quickly and see if there is anything remaining here. Yeah. So if you are a beginner or maybe you want to learn a blockchain, there are a couple of good tutorials available. Like there's called bloggeeks.com. Bloggeeks is a very helpful in terms of means like if you want to learn, they're having different tracks and which is very helpful in terms of learning. They have pricing plans like a $6 to $10, but it's a very good one. And there is also some YouTube channel called Eat the Block and Solidity. I will send you all the links later on. Okay, so you can see here I have already links for the Solidity and Open the Uplink library, which I discussed in part 2 for security purpose. And then we have a BlogGeeks, Truffle Suite. So you can try them from there. Let me see if it is deployed. Otherwise, I think it will take more time. So I have already deployed AKS cluster and the blockchain network there. So you can see this is my app is already here. Okay, you just need to I will publish all my code on my GitHub and will provide the links with the guides, so you can follow and do that. Let me know if you have any questions, if anyone have any questions or anything. Oh, it's deployed. Let's just one minute. So you can choose the AKS cluster, whatever you have created, AKS blockchain, and then you have default node. I will choose container registry is AKS blockchain, and you just need to deploy. That's it. So once it is deployed, it will be available on the port which you have exposed, that is 3001 in this case, and you can use it because backend will be it is Infura API we are calling, so which is this API only you need, and you need a contract address because we have deployed our contract on this network. So we need a contract address to identify that where exactly we need to connect. Yeah, save and run. Zanbhai, any questions now? And okay.
Just give me some time to look
Sure,
on
sure.
it.
Yeah, actually, it might take some time. Let's see, but almost done with my demo.
See, one question is there. What about the cost for deploying
Infura,
in Azure?
for Infura, actually, it's they having a certain plans. Like suppose if you are using this test network, it's completely free. But if you are performing the transaction on the blockchain network, like I have created multiple projects, so you can see on the test network it's completely free. You just need MetaMask plugin to connect to the network and perform the transaction. But if you are using like mainnet, so then you need and if for they having free plans and business plans, yeah, so that's a different, you can see on the pricing plan. I'm actually not very sure on in that part, but for Azure, actually previously they used to be Azure Blockchain as a Service, so they have a certain cost, but now it's like you just need to deploy an app. So yeah, like currently I'm using AKS cluster or ACS, so whatever the cost will be there, that will be there. Same for but for AWS, they having Azure Blockchain as a Service, and that's around $100 a month something. But yeah, it depends on the usage and how many transactions you're performing on the network. For Calido, yeah, I forgot to explain about the Calido. Let me show and so Calido blockchain is also a blockchain service provider, blockchain as a service. So you can see here they having means you can create a network on different environments. So you can create on AWS, you can create a multi-party, you can create a standard blockchain as a service. Multi-party system is something like you are creating a complete consortium. So it's like multiple organizations can join your network. But if you are using for only on your purpose, so you can just use a standalone service. They having okay. So they having certain plans, like suppose you want to create on Ethereum, Hyperledger or Coda, and I want to create on Ethereum. So I just need to provide my demo test, and which cloud you want, like AWS or Azure, it will be depends, or maybe you want to hybrid like on-prem or, so it depends on your, currently I'm using a free plan. It's only for one node deployment, but let me show Kaleido plans, Kaleido blockchain plan. Yeah, pricing plan. So basically you can see the starter is completely free, and if you are using per node usage for for whole team, so it's a 0.15 per hour, and business plan is 0.55 per node per hour. It depends, and if you are enterprise, so it's different, but it's really good because there was a blockchain, Congo blockchain, which was used in our organization, and that was actually deployed on the Kaleido. So then I came to know about this platform, and it's really good actually. You can deploy on your Google Cloud or AWS. It's up to you, or maybe the hybrid cloud network. And the second good is like suppose if you just want to use for Ethereum purpose, so Infura is good for your testnet, for your testing purpose. And if you want to deploy on AWS or wherever you, that's up to you because it's app. So if you see, I just use this project API, and then I deployed the app using on my AKS cluster or AWS Azure. So it's independent on your cloud provider. And then comes for Hyperledger Besu. So Hyperledger Besu is also like you can develop locally, and you have to deploy that Hyperledger Besu get node on AWS or Azure, and that will cost your VM size. It will be around 100 plus $200, something like that. So that's what in terms of pricing. Yeah, obviously previously the main. Yeah.
Sorry, I am going to interrupt you.
Yeah, sure.
Asif bhai, second question is that one participant asked that he is managing a software which by that a university result system is maintained. Now his question is the certification verification process. Can he use certification verification process
Yes.
using blockchain, and can it be integrated with his application?
Yes, it
His
is.
application is developed on ASP.NET and
Yes.
backend SQL Server database.
Yes.
In
Actually,
that context, he need any more? What extra he needs?
see, it's a very good question actually. In our NUS, because I recently graduated from masters from NUS, and we got our degree certified on blockchain network. That was on Ethereum. So they are giving a digital degree to us. So that certificate can be verified from the website anywhere in the world, and you can verify this is a certification is a legitimate certificate. That's a very good use case, and in most of the schools in Singapore, they are means like that is called a project called OpenCert. Let me ping that. So even though if it's open source, it's developed by GovTech, and it's really good. So what you need, they having a documentation, OpenCert GitHub, you go, and you can clone this project and can deploy your own network, like on Infura or wherever, and opencerts.io, and you can use for digital degree verification or document verification purpose. That's one of the use case, and whatever the providers you use, it doesn't matter. You can use Dropston, you can use the Kaleido, you can use as AWS blockchain as a service, you can deploy there. And for, as I earlier mentioned in my demo, if you have a .NET application or whatever the application you are using, you just need two things. One is the contract ABI, Second is the contact address. So you just need two things to interact with the contract. So actually this my React app. I will maybe I will on the GitHub I will publish. So I'll provide the code as well, everything. So if anyone want, they can reach me out also.
Asif bhai, another question is there. One participant asked that he is working on banking application.
Yeah.
He requested you to inform to at least one use case which can be implemented in banking sector. Banking sector
Using
using blockchain.
Banking sector, basically we did one application called Voltron Trial. Actually, that was application for the letter of credit, LC credit, because that's in the trade and finance department.
Right.
Basically, for it was a very good use case because nowadays, if you see for shipping products, with like a shipping purpose, we are transferring some items like import and export. So they are issuing a digital certificate, or you can say a bill of landing. Basically, there's a one very important document called bill of landing. Actually,
bill of landing.
So bill of landing is digitalized with the help of blockchain network. That's open blockchain network, Ethereum, or maybe the Quorum, whatever you want to use. And yeah, that you can use for development purpose. So yeah, LC credit process is one of the, or maybe the document verification purpose. Like suppose you have very important documents in your organization, and you want to keep the document very secure, then that can be used for the blockchain network.
Okay, thank you, Asif.
Yeah, I think some problem with my deployment. No, it looks okay. Maybe I haven't tested. I need to check that. Okay, yeah. So I will publish this all my code or whatever I have deployed for the React app and my smart contract code, and then I will share you by the link everything. So the process is very simple. We just need to build a smart contract, deploy on any blockchain as service, and any app you use, it doesn't matter actually.
Okay.
This deployment process. So thanks, White. Thanks a lot for having me. I'm really thankful of you.
Thank you, Asif. Thanks, Asif, for your time and effort, and we are very much grateful for your session, and it will be helpful. I hope it will be helpful for the audience also. Thank you everyone for joining the session, and hopefully it will be very much encouraging you to enter into the blockchain world. And Asif is there. If you need any assistance, Asif will help you. You can connect with Asif for any questions. Thank you, Asif, for your help. And Asif, is there any plan for next step?
There is one thing.
One question. audience has asked me one question that
actually
what will be the next step?
Yeah, there are different frameworks I can cover, like a Hyperledger. Hyperledger framework, which is very because it's from IBM and it's for the private blockchain network. So yeah, we can do that. Hyperledger Besu or Hyperledger Fabric. It's really good. Or there are Coda. So because I'm a certified in Coda as well, so yeah, I can do that some session in future. Sure, inshallah. Thanks, Hasan bhai.
Thank you, Asif bhai. After getting your links, and if you when you are free, then please share your links and the application source and other things. I will share it to the Facebook, or also you may share in the Techforum Facebook site.
Sure.
Thank you, Asif bhai.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your effort, and hopefully in the next month, in the coming month, in the last Saturday of this month, we will arrange another session on web technology, say ASP.NET Core and other technologies, and absolutely we will going to arrange another session on December on Microsoft Data Platform. Thank you very much for your joining. If you have any feedback, please knock us in the Facebook page, or we have meetup page and other LinkedIn page. Please share your ideas if you have any. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Asif bhai.
Allah
Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.